We will be going back into Afghanistan as we went back into Iraq and Syria. To the
Hang
British.
on, are you seriously think the United States will once again, in a foreseeable future,
yes,
put troops back into Afghanistan?
We'll have to, because the threat will be so large. Why did we go back to Syria and Iraq? Why do we have 5,000 troops in Iraq today? Because of the caliphate rising, projecting force outside of Iraq, killing Americans, killing the French, attacking the British. So yes, it will be a cauldron for radical Islamic behavior. You cannot deal with this over the horizon.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and here we go again. Warmonger extraordinaire Lindsey Graham is calling on us to reinvade Afghanistan again. Why? Is it because of Raytheon, because of Lockheed Martin and Halliburton? Won't you tell us, Lindsey Graham, why we need to invade Afghanistan again? What is that going to accomplish? What is the imminent threat that has been cast upon the United States and our citizens that constitutes a declaration of war? You do realize that this isn't Call of Duty, right? When we send people to invade a foreign country, people die on both sides of the aisle. Now, you may not care about that, but I do. I know what it's like to lose people that are close to you. And I know what it's like to deploy to war and see the actual effects of it. You know, you deployed as a JAG officer to a forward operating base to get your Bronze Star, but you have no clue, no idea what it's like to deploy for years at a time. What you do know how to do is run your mouth on television, and for one purpose, and that's to keep that money train running. And I will admit that when you were standing by the side of the late Senator John McCain as his sidekick touring the Middle East, you know, I had a lot of respect for that. Senator McCain trusted you, and even though I disagreed with him on many political fronts, I respected his service and I respected his sacrifice. And I thought to myself, as did I'm sure millions of Americans, if Graham was good enough to hang with John McCain, then he's all right by me. What the hell happened to you? How do you look at yourself in the mirror each day? You know, if the late John McCain were alive today, he would be lighting your ass up. You know, folks, do not let this jackaloon get away with this message. The Afghan people do not need us to rebuild their country. The French and the Brits are our allies, but they're also more than capable of taking care of themselves. And by the way, no one is asking us to invade Afghanistan to keep Britain and France safe like this jackaloon Lindsey Graham is suggesting. Lindsey Graham keeps referencing the United States re-entering Iraq and Syria, and that's a lie. You know, let's do a little constitutional refresher here. Only Congress has the authority to declare war. So, Lindsey Graham, you're a member of Congress. When did Congress give the declaration for war in Syria? You know, right now what we have in Syria is a very small tactical force of elite soldiers that are mainly there for reconnaissance. We do not have a sizable military footprint in Syria like Lindsey Graham wants to claim. Lindsey needs to stop the lying and stop the warmongering. We will not be sending our men and women off to war so that his buddies can continue to get richer and richer at the expense of our troops.
So number one, these are smartly dressed people. Most people I've seen over the years are really economically impoverished. They go through hell to get to the border to see what's going on in Panama.
Let's get up the luggage and what we're talking about in terms of who these people are. Go ahead,
You know
Senator.
what pisses the Border Patrol off? What pisses the Border Patrol off is they're having to process these people. That means they can't be out there getting drug dealers and terrorists coming across the border. They're spending all their time acting as hotel clerks for, well-off Brazilians who are scamming and playing a game. They've got better luggage than I do. When we went through the in-processing station, these were upscale luggage, no dirt on their shoes. They fly into Cancun, they rent a car or a bus, dropped off at the border, get their luggage out, find the first Border Patrol agent they can find, turn themselves in, and before they do that, they book a flight to a friend or relative already in the United States. This is offensive.
Oh my!
It is a bunch of bull, and it needs to stop.
And Lindsey Graham is a racist, lying, manipulative political hack. I know what you guys are thinking, but Richard, we already knew all that. What's your point? My point is that we cannot let him get away with this garbage. Not now, not ever. Every single time that Lindsey Graham or any of his seditious caucus colleagues open their mouths with their lies and propaganda, we need to call them out on that. Lindsey Graham is the king of making false statements and presenting them as facts without proof, without context, without any inclination hesitation of even attempting to back up his claims with data and testimony. You think people are actually walking thousands of miles with designer bags? I mean, come on. Have you ever been to a third world country? The entire country is filled with fake replica merchandise. Anyone with an ounce of common sense will be able to tell you that. Here is the thing that I know for a fact. I've been to these third world countries, and I've seen the same level of poverty and desperation as I witnessed when I deployed to Haiti after their first earthquake in January of 2010. Now, I don't know everything about Haiti, but I know people in that part of the world can't afford thousands of dollars for handbags, and you know that too, Lindsey. So why don't you mention that? Maybe it's because you have a narrative that you're trying to push, and you know that your Fox Russian state propaganda network will never call you out on your garbage. But guess what? I will. When you say things like, they've got better luggage than I do, and you try to put these people down that are coming to this country who are just trying to seek asylum, you confirmed for the millionth time what we already know, and that is you lost your soul a long time ago.
Talking about Stephanie Grisham, who's just another, frankly, a turncoat, former White House communications director. She's got this tell-all book. She says in the book, she talks about you. She says, as to Lindsey Graham, it struck me that he was using Trump to mop up the freebies like there was no tomorrow. Seems that he still is. What exactly is she implying here, and what's your response to that?
Apparently, she's implying that the only reason I want to be around President Trump is because of the food. So,
the food?
I'll let you determine if that's why I spend time with the president, because I need my next meal. So
I guess they're not paying you guys enough in the Senate, huh?
My appreciation for President Trump includes the food, but much beyond that.
What's going on? What's happening with the president?
Well, his golf game is just incredible. He's busting his driver, knocking the pins down with his iron and putting like a wild man. I mean, I'm not joking. I've never seen him play this well.
And we all know that guy, the guy that has no shame. You guys know what I'm talking about. That one person that has no self-respect or self-worth. They just seem to always show up when nobody wants them around. And out of courtesy, you basically stay quiet and just bite your tongue. Well, according to Stephanie Grisham, Lindsey Graham is that guy. I don't like Stephanie Grisham. I don't trust Stephanie Grisham. But when I saw this, I smiled because it makes perfect sense to me. Of course, Lindsey Graham is that guy in the United States Senate. He is a parasite that goes from one host to the next, just sucking up and saying whatever is needed for the next handout. The one question that I have, and this is a serious question, is what was Trump handing out that the senator from South Carolina was so eager to accept? And I know it wasn't just food, and I'm not going to speculate as to what it was, but I will leave this out here for you guys to ponder. Lindsey Graham is the epitome of white privilege. He has no real set of skills or intellect, and he is not charismatic like his colleagues. This guy's a slimy sleaze bucket who always manages to just show up and be there when no one really wants him in the room. And do you know how I know this is true? Because on January 6th, when that happened and the senators were under attack, they were all alone in the room. And do you guys know what happened? Lindsey Graham, being the turd that he is, stood up and started grandstanding and yelling at the Capitol police officer trying to protect the actual senators. And his colleagues, Republicans and Democrats, shouted, "Shut the F up, Lindsey, and let the officer speak. There are no cameras here." And he looked at them and he realized no one was going to put up with his crap, and he just sat down with his head between his tail. And the story leaked out anonymously, obviously, but no one in the room denied that story, including Lindsey Graham himself.